All right, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Money Room. I have with me, as usual, Itex B. It's me, Nam Diesel, founder of the Money Room. And today, you can tell by the way I'm dressed, she have an idea about what we're about to talk about. We're about to talk about Black Panther. Black Panther.
Right on, right on, right on. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever, man.
Oh man, listen, I haven't even. I gotta be straight up honest and keep it real. I haven't even seen the movie.
Yo, you need to go watch it, man. You need to. I know you're busy right now, but you need to go watch it. You need to go watch it. Make some time. Go with your wife, your kids, everything.
Wife and
It's
kids
worth.
are going tomorrow with their auntie. So
I'll watch that movie like 2 or 3 times if I have to. I don't mind watching it again and again. It's that good.
is that good? The movie, yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch it twice.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
now. I feel like I want to watch it, but how much time do I have to wait before it comes to Amazon or something like that?
Man, I don't know. You might have to wait for a while, man, because the sales, that's what we're about to talk about,
The
Sales are going
sale.
crazy. Yeah, so movie theaters are probably going to like to keep it around the movie theaters for a while. I think they're breaking, lots of different records. They made like 242 million
Right.
just nationally, I think, over the weekend, which is
Wow.
pretty
I'm,
insane.
how much? I thought 361 million in the first weekend.
It could be maybe the first week.
Oh, it was
240,
worldwide. It was worldwide. In US, it was 200. You're right. You're
yeah,
right.
242 and 202. So it was a long weekend, right? So we had like a 2 day weekend, and from Friday to I think they made 202 million from Friday to Sunday. Then
Mm.
they made 242 million if you include the 4 day weekend.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Yeah. I have some pretty good ideas on why it's working out, and I want us to talk about that because um, there's a formula and a method to the madness at the end of the day, and the only reason why I feel like it cannot be replicated, because people say sometimes, and I say that too sometimes, like, oh, if it can be replicated, how come everybody is not using the same formula, right? Well, first of all, hard work is not replicatable, okay, or it's not duplicatable, or going all in on making sure absolute quality is not
I
duplicated.
mean, I agree with you. There's definitely some kind of strategy and format that's in place, and I think they executed it pretty damn well. Look, they released it, February. Have Black History Month. There's a lot of stuff that's led up to this, to this moment of the movie coming out. So a lot of people want to go out and support it. And but all that aside, I've been looking forward to this movie since 2016. All that aside, the
You've
execution
been looking forward to this movie since 2016.
since 2016, and this is actually the most anticipated movie of 2018. Period.
Good,
Period.
good.
I think you have to also bring up, this is an all black cast of predominantly black cast. There's also a stigma attached to that in Hollywood. A lot of people feel like, okay, all black cast movies or majority of black cast movies don't do well
Mhm,
nationally and especially internationally. But if we look internationally, talk about West Africa,
mhm.
Nigeria, right? Repping right now, West
Right.
Africa, South Africa. African countries came out and support this movie as well because this is a movie that we could relate to, and for
Right.
that reason, it's doing well internationally as well. A couple millions of dollars being made here as well. So this is a breakthrough. This is a major moment. It's a movement. It's a
Mm.
movement. It's more than just a movie. The storyline is if you watch any Marvel comics before, Marvel is good. It's known for its action scenes and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
there's a lot of underlying messages and stories being told through this movie, which makes it phenomenal. It's a great movie.
Right. Yeah, I like it, man. I like it, man. A couple of things you just mentioned, and I want to make sure I repeat them because again, this is applicable in any business, right? And and you just mentioned a couple of things. I'm looking at something else in front of me that's part of the factors, but I'm gonna leave that to till the last, right? I want to stress more on the things you just mentioned, which is anticipation, right? You mentioned anticipation, so
Mm-hmm.
they've built some kind of momentum, which is another. They've built that over time, right? And that goes to tell you that anything that's worth doing well is worth doing well. It takes time. Good things take time. Because time creates equity. As a matter of fact, time creates a certain amount of equity that you can't necessarily buy with money. The only thing you can buy it with is time. And people are often say time is money. Time is not money. Time is much more valuable than money. And this is one of the ways where you can flip it around because an average person don't want to wait for success. They want it like that, right? And it's becoming more and more of that because of technology, because people can get everything they want like that, right? They have the Ubers, they have the Uber Heats, they have, you know, they have everything, and people sell that to them, right? But when we're talking to our audience, people that want to build a legacy, people that want to build wealth, right? People that want money to work for them, you got to start thinking in terms of you got to start thinking time in terms of the most valuable currency you could have. You take the time to build something of quality. Take the time to make sure you cover as much as you can in terms of quality. So in addition to building a quality movie, which you're saying is actually worth it, you will watch it 2 or 3 times. They've actually taken the time to build a whole big momentum around this, right? And the second thing you mentioned is timing. This has been released in Black History Month. That's strategy. There's nothing unreplicatable about that. You got to pay attention to timing when you are releasing a product. Okay, so there's certain product that's not applicable, right? That is just, it's a timeless thing, right? But in this kind of scenario here, there's actually that month of that year that will make all the difference in the sales. You know, there's actually that particular weekend, and when people release album, they actually pay attention to what Tuesday they actually want to choose. Who else is releasing album in that week, right? Because that makes all the difference. Some people like it to be isolated. Some people like to be, depending on what you're trying to release and the strategy you're paying attention. The third thing you mentioned is relatable, right? You talk about Africans. Everybody's jumping on board this one right here. Are you still there with me? You look like you're frozen.
No, I'm there. I'm
Okay,
listening.
all right, okay. Actually, I should have looked at the TV behind you and see that it's moving. But yeah,
I'm reading something on my phone real quick, trying to make sure I have all my facts straight. So yeah,
right.
242 million was correct.
242.
I just to add to that, you know, something that I was thinking is like, you know, what this says to me is that Black dollars matter. Hashtag that Black dollars matter, because that was the thing before. People, as I said before, you know, people felt like, you know, in Hollywood, you know, predominantly Black casts were not going to sell nationally, internationally. This shows that Black people have the financial power to go out and support the Black women. So you cannot ignore the power of a Black dollar.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question now. Since you said that, did you ever think Black dollars didn't matter?
Never did I think that. But remember the discussion we had? Remember the discussion we had? And this also shows how this is shattering expectations of what people thought, or the stigmas people thought were attached to Hollywood or whatever. Because this is giving more opportunities to other directors. Like this director, this guy, he's been killing it. Every movie that, you know, they put him in, he kept killing it. You know, they gave him some amount of money to work with. He's blowing out the water. If that guy was a stock, I'll put my money. I let him invest some of it too, because he's been creating crazy returns with the budget he's given, the amount of revenue he's generating back in theaters. But it just shows that, you know, again, he's going to present other opportunities to other Black directors out there, because now they don't have to be, they can't be ignored. The stories need to be told. The audiences that watch it are diverse. They need to be able to relate to these characters. Not everyone can relate to Superman, growing up in a farm, you know, all that kind of stuff. No one can relate to Batman, you know. So people who are watching the stories need to be able to relate to these characters, and that's what this movie is doing. So, you know,
good point.
So yeah, so back to the whole, you know, Black dollars matter, right? And what I was saying to you earlier is, man, you have a different conversation, but similar enough, right? You remember this when I talk about markets, right? And you're like, oh, the market. A lot of people feel like the market is not enough. A lot of people, oh, there's not enough market to make enough money from selling these movies because not enough Black people going to come out and support it. We had a similar discussion about Nollywood. Nollywood is actually killing the game when it comes to this Black Panther. When I say Nollywood, I'm referring to Nigerian support in the movie theaters, the movie industry in Nigeria. People actually going out and watching this movie. Right. So thing is, a lot of times people have certain perception. They might think, okay, this cannot be done. The numbers don't back it up. But thing is, it just has to be done the right way. You know, it just needs, you know, certain strategies need to be set in place, and many people come in and support. The numbers are actually there to back it up. So even though I think, oh, okay, maybe the African audience or this audience might not be enough to support something, guess what? It just might be. It just might be. So what I'm saying it done so far, you could want to do it. So that's how you got to approach it. You can't always think based on his history.
Let's clarify
and where the future is going. So yeah, how about that, man?
let's clarify, and I like that you brought that up. You know, let's clarify a few things, okay? For me, I've never doubted that black dollars matter. Okay, I mean, for crying out loud, Nigerians are the
You said that not like that, but you doubted the African dollars.
No. I'm actually going to clarify that right now.
Okay, please do, please do.
I remember what I said.
Yeah.
Nigerians, from what I heard, okay, what I heard, I don't know how factual it is, that the number one country importers of champagne, like drinking, like they pop bottles every night. Do you understand what I'm saying? Nigerians in the world, okay? Nigeria imports everything on ground. Everything is they want imported, right? They rather so there's never been any doubt that black dollars matter. Okay, the doubt is this. Okay, the doubt is this, and it comes down to are we willing to support our own? Is it that we're not willing to support our own, or because we haven't brought enough quality, or these other factors we're talking about here right now? We're talking about anticipation, right? Building anticipation, building momentum. We're talking about the right timing, right? We're talking about something that everyone can relate to. Anyone can relate to the idea of superhero. Now it's a plus, an icing on the cake that this is around African culture. Do you understand what I'm saying? And somehow, some way,
exactly, and that's what brought the momentum in from Africa. Because now it's not just Superman, it's not just some other bullshit. You know, this is someone Africans also relate to. They can relate to the story, and for that reason, they came out and supported. They came out, watch this movie. So it helped to do well internationally.
But if you remember the conversation, it was about an app that has just African movies on it for Africans in diaspora. That was strictly what that was about. So that's completely.
It is not exactly apples to apples, but the point I'm trying to make here is just because in previous history you haven't seen something be go a certain way.
Absolutely, right? I agree.
It doesn't mean that you cannot test it because you can see where the future is going. Because now this is a game changer and don't open the eyes of people to the future of how to market movies. They're gonna think, okay, if we want to capture this extra revenue, we got approach this movie in this way so we could get that international support. And that international support from Africa is also reflected here in diaspora in the United States and other countries as well.
And funny enough, the conversation that Shola and I were just having was about testing. When are you gambling? What's the fine line between gambling and testing?
Good. I see where you're going with that.
You get me? And Black Panther, right? It's not a fine line for me. The momentum, I haven't seen it. And I'm saying Wakanda forever, bro. Just think about that for a second, okay? This is not just a regular good another movie throw it out there and we're just gonna, because when you say app, it's just another app, okay?
But at this point, it's got to the point where you can't ignore it. It's out in theaters, it's smashing records. What is done is done. At this point, even if you want to ignore it, you can't ignore it. If you want to ignore it, then there's something wrong with you, right? You can't be ignored. Right, but the point is about the foresight. It's about seeing it before the results are already there.
But you said you were looking forward to it since 2016. You said that.
Yeah, since 2016, I was looking forward to this.
Can you tell us why were you looking forward to this since 2016? Why were you not looking forward to Wedding Party 2, which is another Nigerian movie that flopped compared to Wedding Party 1, right? Why were you not looking forward to Wedding Party 2? Why were you looking forward to Black Panther?
I mean, that my answer to that question might not really apply to everybody, but for obviously some of the generic reasons, which are pretty obvious. I'm a Black Panther fan. It's an African superhero. It's based in, it's a Hollywood movie, and it also takes scenes in Africa. They kind of merge the best of both worlds together, and they make a crazy melting pot of a movie. And that's what
is it considered a big budget movie?
I don't know. I'll consider it a big budget movie.
Okay,
but even bigger. But what matters the most is, regardless of what the budget was, he turned around and destroyed that budget and made them a shit ton of money. I'm looking at even from an investment standpoint, right? You gave this guy $100 million, say go make a movie or whatever, and see how much return he generated. That's pretty sick,
right? So that takes me back to that whole idea on that whole concept, which I'm going to try to do another study on it. The study between testing and gambling, right? The way they went all out from the little scenes I've seen from the previews, right? This is a big budget movie, and you better know what you're doing if you're going to spend that kind of money on a movie. And that's the key right there. You better know what you're doing. In other words, it's not exactly gambling. You put in some quality, and if you flopped, it's just what it is. And sometimes the market will do the opposite like that. Just like you never know, like you said earlier, sometimes something you spend so much money on, the market will say, no, it's bullshit, I don't want it, right? But but I feel like the factors you mentioned earlier are really, really great ways to put the odds in your favor. When you build momentum, you build anticipation, you build a culture, a whole culture. Like people are dressing up. You're dressed up. People are dressing up to go to the movie theater to go see this baby. So it's not just about the product, it's about a movement. You create a movement out of a product, it will win. Because when you create a movement out of a product, it's a way, it's a way to invest time instead of your dollars. Invest time into marketing equity. You know what I'm saying? Because you now have people spreading the word for you, which is where social media comes to play. People are
Of course.
So
Of course, that's great.
Think
But
about the marketing. Think about the market. Think about the
that happened. I know. I agree with you. That happened, right? It might not necessarily have been planned. It could have been planned. It might have been planned. But whether it was planned or not, it happened because the support came, the momentum came behind it. It came organically. It wasn't necessarily like it was forced. And they just said, okay, here's our plan. We're going to try to get promoted. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. They did not. But at the end of the day, people still decided to take their own time, their own energy, go behind it and support the movement, and it was all worth it. When you see the finished product too, was still like people. It wasn't like people were just trying to push it just to push the agenda or be part of the movement. You can see the actual. When you watch the movie, you let me know what you think. You can see the actual work behind it. It was a good product. It was a good product, not just the movement. It was a good product actually.
Right, but that's to say, because you put a good movement, a culture or movement around something, that you're not going to create a good product, because that will backfire if you do that. Because not only would it backfire, you said something earlier, you said it create new opportunities. What if you create a big movement around something and then you get there and then it's crap? Well, that's going to take away opportunities from the future from you, right? So you're not just going to put out crap product because you're good at marketing, right? Because you're good at the word is getting people together as a movement.
Exactly. That's what's like a pump and dump or whatever. But my point is overall, everyone, if you're watching this, go check out this movie. I don't know if I hype it so you go in there expecting like this and it's like right. Oh.
So think about.
But to me, it met the hype.
We're not getting paid for this.
Nah, we're just doing this.
So this, whoever this guy is,
authentically.
I don't even know his name yet, but I know everybody's making noise about this director already. This guy's getting free marketing, free publicity right now. Not just from you and I, not from the Money Room, but from thousands of reviews right now going on YouTube right now.
Right.
So if we can learn anything from that, number one, good product, good content, always quality, right? We already know that. And there's nothing should ever take away from that, because you will burn yourself alive if you try to do anything else I'm about to say after this, right? With a crappy product, right? It will hurt you, right? So make sure good quality content, product. That's what I try to do with our YouTube channels.
That's right.
Always. But that's never good enough, because there's a lot of good quality content out here. The next thing is promotion, your promotion skills, right? Marketing skills is everything, okay? Hopefully in the next few weeks here, we're going to be embarking on something that's going to be fun to look at data and see how people respond to marketing before we talk about the product. We make sure we have good product, right? Now, marketing, you got to have good marketing. You have good quality marketing, and you cannot afford to say, I don't want viral marketing in 2018. You can't afford that, because your competition have viral marketing. So that affects you and your bottom line if you are just capitalizing on your own dollar power. Right? Dollar power enough as market is not good enough. You got to capitalize on creating something that's so good that a bunch of YouTube channels are jumping on board to even help you promote it. People are dressing up.
And that'll be an ideal situation, right? And let's be honest, not everyone's going to be able to create a Black Panther or whatever.
Well, why not?
No. But hold on. The most important thing, though, on the stress is about marketing. Even if you have a good product, it might not be freaking Black Panther, great. Because even the director, as good as he was, I don't know if his next movie might be this good, but he's a good guy. He's going to keep doing good, right? But my point is, as long as your product is good, that's one thing. But no one will ever know about your product if you don't market it.
Yeah.
You got to market it. Because if no one knows about it, how they even going to respond to it? How they going to buy it or even tap into it if they don't know about it? So you got to make sure it's known. There might be other better, foods to eat. But if you don't know the food exists, how are you ever going to try it? There might be better restaurants to go to. If the restaurant exists, how you ever gonna go there? You know, so marketing is a big point, is a big part of everything. You know, especially when you have a product, even if it's just mediocre. But at the end of the day, you want quality. But you know what? Without marketing, you're never gonna be known in the first place.
Yeah, and numbers don't lie. I mean, $361 million worldwide in one weekend. Numbers don't lie. It's just what, as far as the market, I mean, you can say the market is lying. That's your opinion, but the market wants what it wants, and clearly they're saying this is a good situation. And not only are they saying that, the market is now willing to gamble on the next movie from the producers and the directors. They're willing to gamble. That's why you see in movies they say from the producer of Grammy award winning or Oscar winning. You see them say that a lot, you know. And to go back to the point you made earlier, that never say never. I mean, people like AY Comedy in Nigeria has been breaking the box for quite a few years in a row right now.
There you go.
But it wasn't necessarily, it was good quality picture wise. His comedy is not the best comedy. Everybody knows that it's not the best comedy and nowhere close to the best comedy in Nigeria. But that motherfucker is good at marketing. He's good at marketing, and he's good at leveraging existing equity that he has in the marketplace. See, when you know that you've done very well, there's something called leveraging that story, everything you're bringing to the table to promote the next thing over and over again.
Yep. And speaking of equity and that leverage, as you mentioned, the director of this movie, he's the same guy who did the last Creed, which is, you know, the Rocky movie. He did Creed. And that is the same leverage he used to roll into this movie, right? And he actually used I forget the guy's name, whatever. But he actually used
that's part of the success.
He actually used one of the same actors from Creed in this movie because they're actually friends, right? So that's the same leverage. You know, you leverage that relationship. You know, they both won in the next movie, and then, you know, and so on. I think now they're working on another movie too. So that's leverage, and they're rolling that forward.
Yeah, so it's a lot of great lessons to learn, even without me watching the movie yet. From a business standpoint, I mean, I'm probably gonna enjoy the movie now, but as business people, from the promotion, from the quality of the movie, from what we're hearing now, and people continue to talk about it. And as a matter of fact, on the project I'm on right now, there's a lady that's literally threatening me that if I don't go watch the movie, because you know, she's joking, but yeah, she's that passionate about the movie. Before I came home here, I'm going to be traveling to Atlanta tomorrow, Saturday. I'm going to be on flight. So my wife had made arrangements for the babies. You know, everybody is excited about it. And that's a dream, ideal situation where everybody is excited about your product and they're doing the marketing for you. There's one person we know that capitalized on that, okay, in a very negative way, but it worked for him. And that's President Trump. President Trump did not spend as much money in marketing dollars because he knew how to get people talking about him. I mean, I haven't watched CNN in a long time because during the last 2.5 years, before the last 1 year, there's no one headline on that channel without Trump, the name Trump in it.
I'll tell you one big thing that he did that even a lot of the other people did not use, like even Hillary, and when it has to do with marketing and free or cheap marketing, is social media. He put that social media to use. A lot of the other guys did it. Social media kills the game these days. Black Panther, whatever we want to talk about, social media is a major way of marketing.
Well, there's no such thing as marketing in 2018 without social media.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like he leveraged that, and that's like very cheap or free way of marketing. You
Absolutely.
Tweet for free, say what you want to say, and people who follow you are gonna read it. They're gonna talk about it. They're gonna retweet it, repost it, whatever. So that's big leverage. Rather than saying all this paid commercial where people pay millions and millions of dollars for on TV and say blah 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 blah, took away this money from education, and now I'm going to do this. All the stupid campaigns where they waste money back and forth. That's major leverage because now you're getting people to organically respond to what you're saying for free. So
yeah, for free. Just call the country a shithole and you're good to go.
Look at the shithole country right now, though. Black Panther.
Wakanda, right?
Wakanda forever, baby.
All right, man. We gotta run. So unfortunately, today very quick. We have to run, but it's a good one, man.
Yep. Yeah. Nice talking to you guys. If you have any comments or questions, comment below. If you have something to say about the movie, did you see the movie? Leave your review. What do you think? What are your thoughts from a financial perspective or how the movie did? You think it could have done better? Let us know. All right, we out. Wakanda forever. Peace.
Peace.